So we have started the conceptual understanding of environmental psychology. We have seen the field theory, field psychology, which was given by Kurt Lewin. In the same chapter, environmental psychology, there are some other topics. For example, the next important topic is related to the concept of noise and crowding. Okay, so you can see a lot of questions that what are the psychological consequences of noise, psychological consequences of crowding. Okay, how can we decrease the level of noise or crowding in our society? Okay, so we will try to we will try to develop a basic understanding about these concepts. So if we talk about the concept of noise and crowding, if we want to make a difference between both of them, then we can say in simple term that noise is nothing but an unpleasant sound, okay, which is creating due to a loud noise, loud music system, okay, unavoidable construction going on around nearby your house. So this is what this is noises. Okay, in the same way, if we want to define the concept of crowding, then we can say crowding is a perception that you are losing your personal space. Okay, so it's a perception of having no personal space. Okay, so if we talk about that, about the psychological construct, then crowding will come. Okay, because crowding is focusing upon the subjective phenomena, how you are making perception about your surroundings. Okay, for example, like if you go to a crowded place, like if you go to a concert or a live music concert, then there are a lot of people in that concert, but you will not feel crowded. It will not lead to any kind of stress. Okay, but on the same side, if you are sitting in a library and like lot of students come into the library to study, okay, and there is no space, then you will feel stress. Okay, then you will feel anxiety. So crowding is a subjective phenomena. Okay, on the other hand, if we talk about the noise, in the noise we are ignoring the subjective concept. Okay, noise is like a unpleasant sound which is coming from your environment. Okay, other than this, we can also differentiate these two concepts on biological basis. The concept of noise, it actually affect the sympathetic nervous system, okay, which lead to emotional arousal and then it lead to stress. On the other hand, the crowding, it affect the hypothalamus pituitary axis, which lead to the release of one important hormone, cortisol hormone, and that lead to stress and that work as a stress response. Okay, and you know that whenever you are feeling stressed, then you become alert also. So we are becoming alert due to this, due to that particular cortisol. Okay, so this is a biological basis, although we need not to write this biological basis, but just for your understanding. Okay, so I hope the phenomena is clear. Noise and crowding. Crowding is important for us. Okay, because crowding is a psychological construct. In the initial time, crowding was also considered as just a normal concept, like physical surrounding is there, so it is crowding. A lot of people surrounding you, so it is crowding. Then then it began to understand as a social construct also. Okay, that many social groups are there, then you will feel crowded. Okay, but later on, recently, it is considered as a psychological construct. It is your subjective feeling. Okay, whether you are feeling crowding or not. Okay, so it's a subjective phenomena. You might feel crowded in a in an environment, in a library, but you might not feel crowded or you might not feel stressed due to crowding in a live concert, in a music show. Okay, so this is noise and this is crowding. Now our focus is upon crowding, so we will try to develop some theoretical model. We will try to understand the crowding topic in a bit detail. Okay, so to explain the concept of crowding, there are 2 or 3 theories. The first one is stimulus overload model. Okay, this stimulus overload model was given by Eugene and Desser. Okay, these are 2 important names, Eugene and Desser. They have given the stimulus overload model. And the model is very simple. They have said that whenever there is excess of stimuli in the environment, then it lead to negative consequences. Then it lead to rise in anxiety. Then it lead to stress. Okay, this is a stimulus overload model. Okay, for example, there are a lot of people in the library or there are a lot of people in the same room where you are studying. So it will definitely violate your privacy needs. Okay, your privacy needs will be violated. Okay, your personal, you are losing your personal space. Okay, right? So you will be happy whenever you are having control over the things. Okay, remember, perceived sense of control, locus of control should be there. Then you will feel happy. whenever you feel that you're losing control over the things, you're losing control over the resources, then stress will come, then anxiety will come. Okay, these are the negative consequences. This is the negative emotional feeling. Okay, so when there's lot of stimulus, when there's a lot of people around you in the same room, in the same environment, then violating privacy needs will lead to the feeling of stress, will lead to feeling of anxiety and disrupt the attention. The second one is cognitive overload. Same thing. For example, if you're reading a lot of subjects simultaneously, okay, and like you're working also, you're studying also, and there is some problem going on in your home also, and some stress in your relationship also, etc., etc., then it's a cognitive overload. It will also create the feeling, it will also create a negative feeling, it will also create a negative emotional experiences. Okay, so overload, stimulus overload should not be there either in your privacy needs or in your cognition mind. And in the same way, emotional arousal should also be not there. Okay, so when you are overloaded, when you're overwhelmed by a lot of emotions, then it also sometimes create negative feelings. Okay, so this is the first model who tried to understand the concept of crowding like in a theoretical way, and this was given by Ugan and Desser. Later on, this model is not majorly focusing upon the subjective phenomena. Okay, and we have seen that crowding is more like subjective construct. So to better explain the concept of crowding, to better explain the theory of crowding, the second phenomena or so second model will come. This second model is known as attribution model, which was given by Worchel and Tedley. Okay, now Worchel and Tedley has said they have derived this concept from, if you remember in paper 1, we have seen Sachster Singer two-factor theory. Okay, so that two-factor theory inspired Worchel and Tedley to derive this attribution model of crowding. Okay, so now according to this model, there are two stages, stage 1, stage 2. They have said that in stage 1, we are focusing upon the objective cues. Okay, we are focusing upon the objective cues. For example, you are feeling stress because of lack of accessibility. You are feeling stress because there are a lot of object in the surroundings. Okay, so stage 1 focuses upon the objective phenomena. Okay, आपको स्ट्रेस लग रहा है, आपको क्राउडिंग लग रहा है क्योंकि आसपास क्या है, आपके रिसोर्सेज नहीं है, एसेसिबिलिटी खत्म हो गई है, आप कंट्रोल नहीं कर पा रहे चीजों को, है ना. ऑन द अदर हैंड स्टेज 2 फोकसेस अपॉन द सब्जेक्टिव मैटर. ये सब्जेक्टिव मैटर पे फोकस करता है. Okay, subjective matter, like for example your personal factors, it could be your motives, it could be your needs, situational factors. हर एक इंसान की सिचुएशन अलग अलग होगी. Okay, for example, you might feel crowding or you might feel stress at wedding. There might be some other people who might not feel stress or crowding at wedding because they enjoy that situation. Okay, in the same way, motives and needs differ person to person, very person to person. Okay, so for like for someone, like a crowded place, like a live concert could be a crowded place, could be a stressful place. For another person, it could be a happy place. Okay, he will enjoy that crowding in the live concert. Okay, so it's a subjective phenomena. This is stage 2. Okay, so according to Washer and Tedley, we attribute the level of crowding or the level of stress into 2 stages. In the first stage, we attribute it to the objective factors, objective cues. Okay, we attribute it to the objects, like accessibility is not there. Okay, like for example, your privacy is disturbed by other people's. Okay, so it's a objective phenomenon. It does not talk about subjectivity. And stage 2 encounters subjectivity in the phenomena. Okay, so it talks about person to person, individual to individual. Okay, that personal factors could vary person to person, situational factors could vary person to person. In this way, we attribute the level of crowding, whether it is creating stress or not. Okay, now situation could be different from individuals. My motives could be different, your motives could be different, my personality could be different, your personality could be different. Okay, so these are 2 models who explain the concept of crowding. The first one is stimulus overload model, which is very simple. Just the overburden of the stimulus, it will create cognitive overload, emotional arousal. Okay, and emotional arousal, cognitive overload, and the first one is violating privacy needs, and the second one is Washer and Tedley, stage 1 and stage 2. Okay, Other than this, there is also one more experiment which was conducted by Friedman, Erich, and Kaminski. Okay, so they have also conducted an experiment to analyze the effect of crowding or effect of noise on the individual. So what they have done, they have collected around 60 students and they have categorized them into three groups. Okay, high density group, low density group, and isolation. Okay, so in this group, for example, in one room there are a lot of students, 20 to 25 students in one small room. Low density, around 5 to 10 students in the same room. Isolation, the person is alone. And now they give them some task. Okay, now it was seen that, as usual, it was seen that the student in this particular group were unable to perform the task and they took longer time when we compare them to this one and this one. ओके तो जो स्टूडेंट हायर डेंसिटी वाले रीजन में थे उनको ज्यादा टाइम लग गया उस टास्क को कंप्लीट करने के लिए. ठीक है, क्यों ऐसा क्यों हुआ? क्योंकि यहाँ पे डेंसिटी ज्यादा थी. डेंसिटी ज्यादा थी, इस वजह से इमोशनल अराउजल आया और उस वजह से स्ट्रेस क्रिएट हुआ. ठीक है, तो यहां से ये एक कंसेप्ट देते हैं, उसको बोलते हैं डेंसिटी स्ट्रेस. ठीक है, कि जब डेंसिटी ज्यादा हो जाती है, नंबर ऑफ पीपल ज्यादा हो जाते हैं इन गिवन एरिया, देन इट क्रिएटेड स्ट्रेस एंड इट डायरेक्टली अफेक्ट योर टास्क. ठीक है, आपको जो टास्क एंड होगा उस पर इफेक्ट करेगा, आपके टास्क के परफॉर्मेंस पर इफेक्ट करेगा, आपके प्रो सोशल बिहेवियर पर इफेक्ट करेगा. ठीक है, सोसाइटी में कॉन्फ्लिक्ट निकल के आएंगे, इट विल लीड टू सोशल कॉन्फ्लिक्ट. ओके, इट विल डिक्रीज द प्रो सोशल बिहेवियर. okay, it will decrease the cohesion among the society, it will lead to tussle, conflict, intergroup conflict, etc. Okay, because of high density. So this was also one of the experiment which you can quote, and it was done by, this study was done by Friedman, Eric, and Kaminski. Okay, and they showed that what is the effect of noise and crowding on task performance and your pro-social behavior with the help of this experiment. Okay, so we have seen that noise and crowding, they have various psychological consequences. Okay, they can lead to high level of anxiety, high level of stress. Okay, you lose your control, you lose your perceived sense of control, sense of community also get disturbed. Okay, it reduces like pro-social behavior, it hampers your task performance. Okay, it changes the group dynamics, it creates group conflict. You can write a lot of point. Okay, so now having understand what is noise and what is crowding, we should also, like, to write a wholesome answer, we should also understand that how can we decrease this, how can we decrease the level of stress or the level of stress or crowding. Okay, so some psychological measures should be adopted to reduce the level of stress and crowding. So I have mentioned here 3 factors. You can mention a lot also, you can mention other also, but these 3 are very important. The first one is design and architecture, sensory management, and social and cognitive factors. Okay, so if we talk about design and architecture, then psychology is also used to design and architecture. For example, civil engineer and who are the architecture, they also use the concept of psychology. Okay, for example, they can make a beautiful sight lines. Okay, they can make a home like from where you can see with the help of windows, you can see the spaces. Okay, so various sight lines should they can measure. ठीक है, अलग अलग sight lines, अच्छी अच्छी sight lines बना सकते हैं. ठीक है, they can also create visual cues. ठीक है, visual cues भी हो सकते हैं, है ना. डिजाइन फॉर एग्जांपल लाइक गूगल मैप का डिजाइन, मैप का डिजाइन आप देखिए. ओके, अगर मैप की कनेक्टिविटी होगी, लोगों को क्राउडेड जिसमें आसानी से जा पाएंगे तो उनको स्ट्रेस नहीं होगा. ठीक है, आराम से अगर नेविगेट कर पा रहे हैं तो, ठीक है, नेविगेशन अच्छा है तो उनको स्ट्रेस नहीं आएगा क्राउडेड स्पेस में. ओके, तो इस तरीके के डिजाइन बनाकर, इस तरह का आर्किटेक्चर बनाकर भी हम इसके इफेक्ट को कम कर सकते हैं. इन द सेम वे इफ वी टॉक अबाउट सेंसरी मैनेजमेंट. ओके, सो सेंसरी मैनेजमेंट, देखिए अब स्ट्रेस क्यों आ रहा है, आपको सेंस करें तभी तो स्ट्रेस आ रहा है. ठीक है, तो आप सेंसरी मैनेजमेंट की हेल्प से भी आप ये काम कर सकते हैं. फॉर एग्जांपल, देयर इज अ थेरेपी कॉल्ड एरोमा थेरेपी. ओके, सो विद अ गुड स्मेल, ठीक है, ओके, इनका यूज करके अच्छी स्मेल आए, अच्छी खुशबू आए, तो लोगों का क्या होगा, स्ट्रेस लेवल डाउन होता है उससे. ओके, दे फील रिलैक्स. ओके, दिस इज एरोमा थेरेपी. म्यूजिक थेरेपी, आपने देखा होगा काफी जगह पर, जो जिनको हम बोलते हैं साउंड स्केप. ठीक है, अच्छे अच्छे म्यूजिक बजते रहते हैं, सूदिंग म्यूजिक आर देयर, सो दैट यू विल फील रिलैक्स्ड, आपको रिलैक्स फीलिंग है. Okay, so we can use soundscapes, aromatherapy to relax the people, to decrease the level of stress and crowding. In the same way, social and cognitive factors are also involved. We can design certain measures, or we can design certain policies which increase social interaction among the people. ठीक है, लोगों में सोशल इंटरेक्शन आप बढ़ाएं, बातचीत करें, ठीक है, आपस में सोशल इंटरेक्ट करें. हम लोगों की कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमिंग भी कर सकते हैं इन दिस फैक्टर. ओके, कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमिंग इज आल्सो इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट. नॉट कॉग्निटिव फ्रेमिंग, कॉग्निटिव रीफ्रेमिंग. ठीक है, अभी वो क्या सोच रहे हैं कि बहुत ज्यादा भीड़ है, बहुत सारे लोग हैं, तो उससे हमें एंजाइटी आ रही है. हम उनमें कॉग्निटिव रीस्ट्रक्चरिंग करा दें, रीफ्रेमिंग करा दें. Okay, like for example, we make them to think that if there are a lot of people, then it also lead to a diverse country. Okay, they will also help you whenever you are in crisis, and vice versa. We can generate this feeling among the people. So this is cognitive restructuring, cognitive reframing. Okay, so with the help of these factors, we can reduce the level of stress and crowding among the people. Okay, so this is a general view, and you can write a lot of answer in paper 2 with the help of these topics. Okay, stress, like noise and crowding, their psychological consequences, okay, and their measures to reduce this. In the same way, there is also one question in PYQ, that what are the psychological consequences of population explosion? Okay, so the same consequences will be there, which are creating because of anxiety, or which are creating because of crowding or noise. Okay, psychological population explosion will also lead to stress, high anxiety, effect on task performance, okay, group conflict, reduced pro-social behavior, etc. Okay, I hope it is making sense, it is clear.